Welcome to Motorbike Explorer. I am lost somewhere in Mexico. It's my third day in this country. My phone does not work. I barely speak Spanish. And I've already suffered a breakdown in which I had to be towed off the side of the highway. My paper map is telling me that this road continues to the other side of the mountain, but from what I can see, the road just stops right here. But for today, we will have to postpone this Mexican adventure for another episode and go back in time to when I had just left New Orleans en route to San Antonio, Texas. For my next major stop, I will be visiting San Antonio to see the Spanish missions and the famous Alamo. Louisiana and Texas are both very large states to cross, and it gave me time to think about coordinating some much-needed routine maintenance on my bike. I need to change my brakes, tires, and drive chain, and also I was hoping to do some of the work myself in order to save on labor where I can. I stopped into the first motorcycle shop I found, and after being discouraged by the high prices for parts and labor, the very friendly parts clerk offered to lead me to another shop across town, where he has his own race bike worked on. So I thankfully agreed to have a chat with this other shop and followed him to it, all the while receiving a short introduction to the city of San Antonio. You never know how things will work out. The guys at this small shop were very friendly and accommodating. They allowed me to ship some of the parts there that they did not have in stock, and also allowed me to help replace some of the items so that I can keep costs down. I could not thank them enough for their generosity, so I felt compelled to show you their operation and introduce you to the owner.
name's Keith Hertel. We're at Von Hertel's Road and Track Cycles in San Antonio, Texas. We started this shop in 2006, so we've been here 11 years now, just about now. It actually started as really like a clubhouse because I was working and doing a race team, and we started this to just kind of a place to keep our toys, our own personal equipment and things, and then the race team slowly fizzled out, and it just kind of became a job. It was the weirdest thing. It wasn't planned at all, so we're stuck in the back half of a building, but it's kind of nice, so we don't have tons of just lookers that just come in and shop and interrupt us too much. So we get to stay kind of busy. We were kind of a hub for a lot of guys running all the way down to South America. Lots of guys in KLRs. We put on racks and windscreens. I mean, you name it. We put on all kinds of stuff. It kind of died off for a few years. We're kind of mainly known as a race shop, but we got a couple guys here that do a lot of adventure bike riding. So we help. We do a lot of custom fabrication and little things like that to do the adventure bikes. It's a good place to sit and relax and kind of make your last minute plans to go, to Mexico, South America, or wherever, even to Big Bend. A lot of guys come down here and pre-stage here before they go to Big Bend area, so we do all that stuff. Yeah, so come on down to Road and Track Cycles, 146 West Rhapsody in beautiful San Antonio, Texas.
I've reserved a full day to see all of the Spanish missions that are located throughout the city of San Antonio. I am going to start at the most southern mission and will be making my way north back to the city center. The Spanish missions in the Americas served both to colonize a geographic area, to spread religion of Christianity throughout the region, and to provide humanitarian efforts in order to improve economic development, education, and health care. Mission San Francisco de la Espada was founded by 3 Franciscan monks and 3 soldiers in 1690, and it was the first mission to be established in Texas. It was built for the purpose of converting the local Nabadachi Indians to Christianity. This mission was plagued by many misfortunes. There was a smallpox epidemic that killed around 3,300 people in the area. There were conflicts between Spain and France, and also with the Nebadachi Indians, and severe drought devastated crops. The mission would not prosper. Mission San Juan Capistrano was founded in 1731. The first primitive chapel constructed there was made out of mud and brush. Some 265 religious converts resided in adobe huts and stone quarters here, but issues arose concerning the natives' Coahuilticans' nomadic tendencies, which resulted in large amounts of converted Indians to sporadically leave. Like the other missions in the area, it would not thrive due to insufficient allotted land for crops, horses, and other livestock. Mission San Jose y San Miguel de Aguayo was founded in 1720 to resolve the overcrowding issues of Mission San Antonio de Valero. Many refugees fled to Mission San Antonio de Valero due to closures of other missions. The first structures were made of mud and brush and were quickly replaced by stone buildings, and a heavy outer wall was built to house some 350 Coahuiltican Indians. A new limestone church was built in 1768 and to this day is very well preserved. The entry wall to the church features carvings of Jesus Christ, Saint Joseph holding the infant Jesus, Saint Dominic and Saint Francis, the Virgin Mary, and Saint Joachim and Saint Anne holding the infant Mary. Mission Nuestra Señora de la Purísima Concepción de Acuña was established in 1716 in order to convert the local Hazanai Indians to Christianity and to educate them so that they can become Spanish citizens. In 1835, the 30-minute Battle of Concepcion was fought here between Mexican troops and the newly created Texan army. It was considered as the quote-unquote first major engagement of the Texas Revolution. Mission San Antonio de Valero, also known as the Alamo, was built in 1744 with the same intentions as the other missions, to colonize and convert locals to Christianity. However, this mission was most noted for the site of the Battle of the Alamo in 1836. The mission had failed due to secularization and was abandoned in 1793. In other words, the Christian religion at the time had lost its sociological and cultural significance. The Texas Revolution began in 1835 when a large population of English-speaking American settlers who were in the Mexican province of Texas rebelled against the centralist Mexican government. The English-speaking Texans disagreed on whether to seek independence or to revert back to the Mexican Constitution of 1824. Hostility erupted, and a flood of volunteers came from the United States to fight against the Mexican soldiers. There were fewer than 100 Texan rebels based at the Alamo mission, and were later joined by a reinforcement group of about 30 soldiers, as well as a small group of volunteers that included the famous frontiersman Davy Crockett. About 1,500 Mexican troops arrived at the Alamo mission and surrounded the compound. There were small skirmishes that took place in the days after their arrival, and the Texans sent out a cry for reinforcements to all the people of Texas and to all Americans around the world. About 100 additional volunteer reinforcements made it to the Alamo mission to help the Texans, but the Mexicans responded by adding 1,000 more troops. The Mexican soldiers jumped the walls of the Alamo and within an hour killed almost all of the Texan rebels, which were estimated to be between 182 to 257 men. A small group, which included Davy Crockett, had surrendered, and any women or children were let go. Even though this battle was militarily insignificant, it had a tremendous political impact. My fascination with history grew significantly later in life, and not during school when it would have made my grades better. Through my research of the Spanish missions in San Antonio, I learned that Mexico, during the time, was governed by Spain, and its geographic boundaries extended well into modern-day Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, and California. As the colonies of America continued their migration west, turmoil struck the region that involved Mexico, Mexican rebels, called the Texans, and the native Indians. It was an area that resulted in many lives lost. I am seeing a reoccurring theme in war in which great sacrifices have been made for the control of land that has drastically shaped our world today. Now that boundaries have been established, was it all worth it? Or will the lines of boundaries continue to evolve and war for these lines continue to take place? I am certainly not stopping here as my thirst for knowledge and exploration continues southward. Thank you for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this episode and have a wonderful day. Be safe on your travels, wherever they may be.